Hello world! Today I was going to take a look at Dear Boys on the Super Famicom, but I decided this game is not stupid enough to cover. At least not yet. So today we're going to cover the dumbest game that I think I own at this very moment. We've got Dinosaur Adventure on the PlayStation 2, released only in Europe. And as you've seen in the Little Britain episode, that's a good sign right off the get-go. But man, this artwork is just an absolute masterpiece. I mean, it clearly is trying to be a bootleg version of The Land Before Time. Like, you have bootleg Littlefoot, and then you have like this character which looks like if Sarah and Spike like bred for some reason and had like a weird Stegosaurus Triceratops hybrid baby. It's beautiful. And we even have a tidbit about the game on the back box art, complete with grammatical errors. The dinosaur baby could wait no longer and stepped out from the broken egg. "It's a boy," the lucky father screamed. After a few days, the young dinosaur got lost, and while he was lost, an earthquake took place, and the volcano erupted. When the young dinosaur arrived home, only ash and lava was left, and there was no trace of his family. "I have to find my family," the young dinosaur cried. Thrilling.
First thing you may be asking, but probably not, is, Corey, didn't you review Dinosaur Adventure before? Well, not exactly. I did do a video over 2 years ago on the educational computer game program thing, 3D Dinosaur Adventure. But now we got no more 3D, no more education, just an alleged dinosaur adventure.
On the back of the box, there's all these, like, weird, like, it's like a frog, but it looks like it has human flesh. Like, I don't know if this is like the mascot of Phoenix Games or what. He's even on the disc. Isn't that something?
But here we are, time for an adventure of the dinosaur variety. The title screen immediately makes you pick your language, and then you have the companies that are responsible for this. Now, this is the first time I'm covering a title by Phoenix Games, but we have a lot of games by them we need to cover in the future, so make sure you subscribe to this channel so we can embark on the world of Phoenix Games titles together, because oh my god, there's a lot of them. You then get the Land Before Time ripoff cover art in the form of a title screen. I mean, there's nothing surprising there. They'd be lazy about that. After that is the minigame selection screen. Oh yes, we got minigames aplenty here. Oh, we got a few. And they're still trying to push that Throg thing. I still don't know what it is. The minigames really are nothing spectacular. The first one is a matching game where you just match pictures, and none of the pictures on the cards are even relevant to Dinosaur Adventure, unless there's jack-o'-lanterns and this creepy emoji in the sky within the property of Dinosaur Adventure. Although, I guess that's Dippy egg in my face, because when you clear the cards, there is indeed a screenshot of the movie behind them. What a reward. The next one is this slider puzzle, and well, that's exactly what it is. It's just a slider puzzle. It's another screenshot of the movie, but in slider puzzle mode. I'm saying slider puzzle a lot. It's not particularly fun, but at least there's difficulty levels in this game, such as more cards to match in the first game, and then larger, more difficult puzzles here. Although, there seems to really be zero consequence for taking forever to beat it, but I guess that's alright. I'm not really in it for this. The next game is a jigsaw puzzle, which is, once again, a screenshot from the movie. Yeah, that's cool. That one's super easy though. The final game we got is basically just a coloring game where you color a scene from the movie. Think Color a Dinosaur on the NES, except that, well, actually yeah, think Color a Dinosaur on the NES. We live in a society. But come on, that's not the best part of this package by a mile. We have the entire movie on this game. Yeah, I guess these rip-off movies weren't exactly sellable on their own, so Phoenix Game was just like, hey, let's package it as a PS2 game. Because people love the PS2 PS2, it sold so many units. And because it's Europe and they'll seemingly approve any game for the PS2 over there, it got greenlit. Now sure, we've had many concepts over the years of various full motion video games and even videos released on systems such as the Game Boy Advance and the PSP, but man, this is next level.
I have a bit of a side note, but when am I ever gonna get to talk about this? This is the dumbest thing in my PSP collection. It's not a game, it's a UMD movie of the band Puddle of Mud. Isn't it beautiful? I think it's just like live footage of them and...
Now this film, it truly is something else. I mean, look at that animation, it's beautiful. But where do I even start? The box art frames it as sort of a knockoff of The Land Before Time, but it doesn't really seem to bear much resemblance to the film outside of the fact that it's talking dinosaurs, and the one main character, whose name is Cree, sort of looks like a green version of Petrie. All of these dinosaurs are gathered around an egg that's about to hatch, including the knockoff Petrie, and this random spiky dinosaur, and a dinosaur that looks kind of like an anus. Everybody's anxiously awaiting the new dinosaur friend, to the point where Cree is about to smash the egg open with a hammer out of excitement. Yeah, apparently hammers existed back then. And the dinosaur is born, and while it does have a dinosaur body, who the hell thought that's what a dinosaur's head looked like? It looks like an otter head or something. Not that, you know, the one I presume to be its parent is very dinosaur-like either, with its pig snout, but that also raises the question. Is this like a scenario like in The Land Before Time where Ducky's parents adopted Spike? I don't know, because the baby dinosaur is, you know, a bipedal otter dinosaur hybrid, whereas the parents are like long-necked quadruped dinosaurs. They decide to name the little guy Tio, and there's all sorts of banter that does not go with the movements of their mouth.
Do as she says. Look, she's much bigger than I am, and if she gets mad, ooh, oh dearie me.
Now, to be fair, the movie did originate in Germany, and presumably those mouth movements they should match up with the German script. In between scenes, there's this random duck that sort of acts as, I guess, a narrator of sorts, and it gives updates to what's going on in the story. And even with that, it's kind of difficult to keep up with this mess of a plot. Complete with glorious animation, she continues to tell the story while you see like random scenes of this crow that I assume is following her or something. I don't know. Is this crow trying to kill the duck? I don't know. He gets no dialogue and it isn't really explained. It goes on to the pig dinosaur hybrid dad looking for Tio and Cree answering and him giving crap to Cree, and then they both just start making like obnoxious sound effects and stuff, and the voice acting in this is just A+.
If you just want...
So then it goes on to Tio's dad complaining about Cree, and Tio saying that he wishes he could fly like Cree can, much to the dismay of the swine father. He then decides that Tio should start going to school, much to his dismay. So Tio is pissed that he has to go to school, so his solution is for Cree to teach him how to fly so he can fly away from his lesson if the teacher's like a jerk to him or something. So he grabs some leaves, which he thinks will be sufficient wings, and starts running and trying to learn how to fly, and obviously it doesn't work. So they conclude it's because he has to jump from a high spot.
Tio! Wake up! No!
And then Tio died and the movie was over. Okay, not really.
The dad finds Tio injured, and the spiky dinosaur is a giant narc, so he snitches on Cree, which understandably makes the dad really angry, and then he's forbidden from hanging out with Cree from there on out, and they make him hang out with a dinosaur named Fa, who looks even more like an otter than Tio, and they both attend a school together, which is in like a cave or something, and they're taught by a dinosaur by the name of Oro, and he looks kind of familiar.
Remember like a few years back there was like that meme that was floating around with the dinosaur that's going yeeee. Yeah, this is the movie that it comes from, but only in the Italian version. Unfortunately, he doesn't do it in the English version, which is kind of a bummer.
So Fa and Tio get into a silly argument over like volcanoes or something, and oh my God, Oro is such a creepy looking character, and they gave him such unflattering angles. Apparently, Oro invented the seismograph in prehistoric times. I mean, it looks kind of like an old phonograph, but given the art style the majority of the characters in this film have, it's kind of hardly surprising. The seismograph is also activated by like this tiny dinosaur, and it just so happens to go off at that very moment as if a volcano is coming, complete with dramatic music. So he runs home to tell his parents about the volcano, and of course the dad is just kind of an asshole to him.
A volcano eruption? That's all we need now. I've just renovated our home.
They eventually go to talk to Oro about it. They gather to Oro, and the small dinosaur plays a harsh noise show. As Tio and Kree are reunited briefly, and everyone just kind of doesn't believe Oro because apparently everyone in prehistoric times is a science denier. So they go on with their lives, and Tio sneaks out to hang out with Kree, claiming he's hanging out with Peak, which is that annoying spiky dinosaur I mentioned earlier, who I think is supposed to be the comic relief. He talks in rhyme for some reason, by the way.
Instead of flying, Tio's father was spanking for lying.
It's kind of weird. So they go to the lake with these alligators, which I assume they're friends with, and one of them tries to scare Tio, and then Tio proceeds to scream, and then he's like, "You can't scare me." Yeah, I bet, buddy.
You'd crack your teeth on my tough hide.
When they get to the lake, an earthquake happens, and then, as predicted, the volcano does indeed go off. And let me tell you, the volcano animations are just so pristine. A true work of art if there ever was any. And they proceed to hide in a cave, and they survive the natural disaster. Due to the volcano, all the food has been destroyed, and all the other characters are gone.
And then everyone was dead and the movie was done. Alright, now let's continue with the movie.
After that, they figure out that Oro is still alive, and then they decide to adventure to find whoever survived the volcano, and Kree manages to find grass. I think Tio is supposed to be a T-Rex, and as such, be a carnivore? But whatever, nothing in this movie makes sense anyway, so just roll with it. They find out that the grass, I guess, belongs to like a bunch of gorillas. Surprisingly, the gorillas don't murder the dinosaurs, and they agree to let them stay if Oro makes them their own seismograph. I mean, fair enough, I respect it. Also, we've done a few more bird narrator scenes since the last one, but I didn't really mention them. But for some reason, in this one, the black bird is like crying. I don't know why. Maybe he misses the duck or something. It's not even the sad part of the story. I hope he's doing okay. After the gorillas are supplied with the seismograph, the young one whose name I forget mentions seeing potentially a large dinosaur walk by when the incident happened. Or, as they've been referring to them throughout the entire movie, dinos.
A dino? It must have been a dino.
It's not long until they find footprints, and they find some of the dinos, and music that sounds like it's from a 1990 Sega CD tech demo. But something is different. They start making obnoxious noises at them. And the biggest plot twist in cinematic history happens. Well, besides that scene in Batman and Robin where Poison Ivy kisses Robin and Robin pulls like the wax off his lips, because that can't really be topped. Apparently these dinosaurs have become carnivores, as portrayed by a brief image of a realistic set of dinosaur bones. Also, side note, apparently these herbivores killed and ate a T-Rex. I just thought I should mention that, because I'm pretty sure that's what this fossil is of. Immediately after, suddenly Peak walks up alongside Fa. Also, weird point I missed out on, but apparently the main antagonist dinosaur that became a carnivore is apparently like Fa's uncle or something. I don't think it's relevant to the plot, but apparently that's something. So then they proceed to find grasslands, and then an even dumber twist happens. They run into a small dinosaur that looks exactly like Tio did when he was born, and it turns out it's just Tio's little brother, who's simply named Tio the Second because his parents just assumed Tio died, so they just were like, oh, let's have a new baby, no big deal. And they even acknowledge that he's a spitting image of Tio, and then Tio the Second like starts crying for some reason. I mean, they're goofy looking dinosaurs, but I mean, they're not ugly. Tio the First finally reunites with his parents, and then we find out during a duck narration scene that the parents also adopted Fa. It's not really relevant to the plot, but that's something that happened at the end of the story.
Hooray, hooray, we're here, and that we're happy is quite clear.
A dinosaur adventure, it was such an adventure, I guess you could say. But man, this is probably the spiciest game I've played so far. If you even want to call it a game, it's more of a DVD, but it's on the PlayStation 2, so I'm very conflicted with that. However, I am going to give it a 0 out of 10 because the Italian dub is not present on this game, which means I won't get an authentic experience with the yeeee dinosaur.
Yeeee.
Have you ever, been playing, Daxter on the PSP, and then all of a sudden you're like, I want to watch Puddle of Mud perform She Hates Me live? Well, guess what? We got it here.